The law of reverse action, when acting is not the best solution. The law of reversed effort states that it is often better to reduce your energy and effort. By doing this, you may be able to achieve your goals. Continue. Give it all you've got. Do not give up. You can get what you want if you try hard enough. How many times have you heard these expressions? Many, for sure. Apart from the fact that you have not only heard them, you read them daily on social media. Maybe you even drink your morning coffee in among with these kinds of messages. But do you know about reverse betting? To achieve some goals, you need to invest certain resources. After all, they don't just show up on your doorstep. It requires competence, commitment, enthusiasm, and even a few lucky moments. In recent decades, the population's social unconsciousness has been largely influenced by the well-known law of attraction. This is the idea that you just have to desire a certain goal and you will achieve it. However, this model, along with the idea that you simply have to put in the effort to achieve a goal, can form the basis of many of your disappointments. In reality, achieving a dream depends on many factors and not all of them are in your control. Furthermore, in certain cases, the most appropriate strategy may be to do nothing or to take a step back. This is surprising but true. We live in a competitive society that makes us believe that the more we do, the more we will achieve. Unfortunately, this rule of thumb is not always followed. The law of reverse effort. Time is not money. Time is work. Therefore, it is supposed that the more you do, the more benefits and more success you will achieve. After all, you live in a competitive society. You have to prove your worth by doing your best. In fact, you do it to such an extent that you sometimes feel guilty when you take a break. In fact, the culture of effort, almost without our realizing it, has turned us all into frustrated and unhappy beings. This is experienced by those who have spent many years educating themselves, but still cannot get a job that matches their qualifications. Even though they know they are competent and do their best, they don't get recognition. Therefore, many of us spend a lot of time trying to get somewhere without success. We are a tired and often disillusioned population. So perhaps we should consider the model proposed by British philosopher Alan Watts. It is the law of inverse effort. It suggests that the more you obsess about achieving something, the more you distance yourself from it. Having faith is trusting yourself in the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and flow. Alan Watts, The Wisdom of Insecurity. Reverse effort. The more you try something, the further away the goal gets. It is ironic that we have all been taught the extraordinary value of effort, but not the value of adopting a more serene and calm attitude on occasion. However, Watts' theory of reverse effort states that while at certain times, it is necessary to give one's maximum, at other times, it is better to stand back or not act if one wants something to happen. Slowing down and looking at things in a more thoughtful way and without having to invest a lot of energy can also bring results. Namely, the paradoxical art of doing nothing shapes the effortless action capable of bringing you closer to a goal. This is because there are times when you give so much of yourself to a particular cause that you end up diluting yourself, losing your own essence, and even negatively affecting your health. This is something you often see in today's world. For example, an employee may work 10 hours a day to be promoted. But instead of achieving his or her goal, he or she ends up suffering from an anxiety disorder or depression. This is because there are times when putting all of our mental and emotional investment into certain goals takes us further away from them. Don't move and the butterfly will come to you. Viktor Frankl said that happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it flies away. But if you turn your attention to other things, it comes and sits lightly on your shoulder. According to this famous Austrian psychiatrist, happiness follows the same dynamic. The law of inverse effort also stems from his clear and inspiring vision. This perspective is also reminiscent of the one we-I mentality that appears in Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. According to this philosophy, it is advisable to learn that force does not always produce the expected results. Not acting or reacting effortlessly to life's events often produces better results. Research published in the Asian Journal of Sport and Exercise Psychology claims that an athlete can achieve peak performance when he or she calms his or her mind, frees it from any kind of pressure and lets the body act on its own. When you let go of yourself, you often give your best. The mystery of life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Alan Watts. When to use this approach. The law of reverse effort, or giving up investing effort in favor of a goal, is not an appropriate resource in all circumstances. Ideally, you will know in which context to develop this more reflective and clear vision and recognize when it is better not to act and take a step back. However, you must understand that withdrawing or not gathering your resources does not mean that you have given up, or that you are incompetent. You must forget the kind of prejudice that makes you think that you are proving your worth by dedicating yourself heart and soul to achieving a certain goal. On the contrary, your value also stems from your own intelligence and from recognizing which dimensions are worth investing your energy in and which are not. Being calm and composed in an always hectic world is an unusual skill.